David Beckham, the soccer superstar, is now much more than just that. He is now Sir David. The 50-year-old native of East London received a knighthood from King Charles on Friday. That is Britain's highest honorary title. The award comes amid Beckham's decades-long career as a successful athlete and contributor to the country's.
Can a single phrase reshape decades of friendship and redirect the path of celebrity alliances? In the world where fame collides with tradition, sometimes the most powerful statement is the one left unspoken or delivered with just 4 carefully chosen words. A sports icon turned gentleman, a rejected television opportunity, and a display of devotion that sent ripples through the entertainment industry. This isn't just about someone declining an invitation. It's about drawing lines in the sand when everything you've built is on the line. One man stood at a crossroads between Hollywood glamour and royal tradition, and his decision would tell us exactly where his heart truly belongs. Stay with us as we unravel this story of friendship, rejection, and unwavering allegiance that has everyone talking. The foundation of a royal bond. To understand the weight of this moment, we need to journey back to where it all began. David Beckham's connection to Britain's most celebrated family didn't happen overnight. It grew through years of mutual respect and shared values that ran deeper than photo opportunities and red carpet appearances. Long before the knighthood, before the honors and accolades, there was a football captain who caught the attention of a nation. The early 2000s saw Beckham dominating the pitch, but it was his character off the field that opened doors to circles most could only dream of entering. Charity events became the backdrop for conversations with Prince William.
Prince William teamed up with football icon David Beckham on Tuesday, despite ongoing tension.
Moments where 2 men under intense public scrutiny found common ground. These weren't staged meetings for publicity. They were genuine connections formed over shared experiences of living life under a microscope. The 2011 royal wedding marked a turning point.
Prince William and Catherine Middleton tied the knot in true fairy tale fashion. The wedding of the century was packed with magical moments.
When William and Catherine exchanged vows, David and Victoria weren't just guests filling seats. They were there as friends, people the couple trusted to witness their most important day. Stories from that time paint a picture of easy conversations and natural chemistry. David and William talked about balancing public expectations with private life, about protecting families while serving duties bigger than themselves. These talks mattered because they built something real. Catherine became someone David genuinely admired. Friends close to the family mention his respect for how she handled pressure with quiet strength. When she faced health struggles in early 2024, David's response spoke volumes. He visited her in the hospital away from cameras and journalists. No press release followed, no social media post announcing his support, just a friend being present when it mattered most. That gesture didn't go unnoticed by those who understand the difference between public gestures and private loyalty. Then came the Sussexes. Around 2017, when Harry and Meghans' relationship became public,
it didn't take long for the press to notice. The first tabloid to break the news of their relationship was The Express, which published a story on Halloween 2018.
The Beckhams reached out with warmth. Dinners were arranged, support was offered, and Victoria even shared fashion insights during Meghans' adjustment to royal life. Everything seemed promising at first. The 2 couples appeared at events together, smiling for cameras and exchanging pleasantries that suggested lasting friendship ahead. But something shifted. Whispers started circulating about leaked information to tabloids. Fingers pointed at David as a possible source. The accusation stung because it struck at his integrity. He'd built a reputation on loyalty and discretion, and suddenly that was being questioned. Trust, once broken, is hard to repair. By 2018, the cracks became canyons. The Sussex wedding arrived, and while David attended the ceremony, the evening celebration invitation never came. That exclusion confirmed what many suspected: the friendship had cooled. The contrast became stark over the following years. David's Netflix documentary in 2023 earned critical praise and Emmy recognition. It showed his journey with honesty and depth. Meanwhile, the Sussex documentary faced criticism for feeling manufactured. Then came what people now call the Jam Wars. Meghan launched her lifestyle brand with strawberry preserves, positioning it as authentic home living. David's response was swift and clever. He posted his own preserve-making video, Beck Jam, featuring Victoria's witty commentary. Millions watched, and the message was clear: without being cruel, authenticity can't be manufactured. Through all this drama, David's connection to William and Catherine only strengthened. He spoke publicly about Catherine's grace during her return to duties. He showed up for royal events, supporting causes close to her heart. His actions painted a clear picture of where his priorities lay. These weren't calculated moves for publicity. They reflected genuine relationships built over decades, tested by trials, and emerging stronger. The invitation that changed everything. Early 2025 brought new ambitions for Meghan's media ventures. After mixed responses to previous projects, her team plotted a fresh direction. The concept seemed simple enough: a lifestyle program showcasing conversations with notable figures about balancing fame with family life. The working title, As Ever Moments, suggested warmth and accessibility. Cooking segments, candid chats, glimpses into how celebrities manage their public and private worlds. For this vision to succeed, Meghan needed star power. Not just any celebrity would do. She needed someone with global recognition, someone whose family values resonated with audiences, someone who could bring credibility to her brand. David Beckham checked every box. His image as a devoted husband and father, combined with his international appeal, made him the perfect target for this venture. The approach came through professional channels. An email from Archwell Productions landed in inboxes of mutual contacts. The tone was polite, respectful, even flattering. It outlined an episode concept focused on legacy and joy, inviting David to share his journey with Victoria and their children. The pitch even referenced his UNICEF work, acknowledging his charitable efforts alongside his entertainment career. On paper, the proposal looked reasonable. Meghan's team likely saw it as mutually beneficial. She'd gain from his popularity while he'd reach her American audience. But context matters, and the history between these families was complicated. Brooklyn Beckham had recently shared a meal with Harry and Meghan, a dinner that raised eyebrows given the known tension between their parents. Victoria reportedly wasn't pleased about the meeting, though David maintained diplomatic silence publicly. Yet privately, questions lingered. The timing of this invitation felt deliberate, coming as David's knighthood rumors were building momentum. Days turned into weeks as the proposal sat unanswered. Friends recall David contemplating the decision over private dinners. The question kept surfacing: why reach out now after years of distance? The wounds from 2017 remained fresh. Those leaked text messages where David expressed frustration about being blamed for press intrusions hadn't been forgotten. Meghan's team had denied responsibility, but doubt had already taken root. Trust, once compromised, creates lasting hesitation. Victoria's alleged reactions to past encounters didn't help. Stories circulated about her disapproval of certain fashion choices, about pointed silences during documentary promotions. These might seem like small slights, but they accumulated into a pattern. Then there was the broader picture. David's documentary success contrasted sharply with the Sussex projects that struggled to find footing with critics and audiences alike. David's team crafted a response that maintained professionalism while establishing boundaries. The official reply thanked them for thinking of David, but cited scheduling conflicts and commitments to UK-based projects. It was polite, final, and left no room for negotiation. But away from formal correspondence, the real sentiment emerged. Someone close to the Beckhams shared that David had laughed while saying those now famous words, "I don't know her." The phrase carried layers of meaning, not hostility, but detachment. A door closing with quiet finality. News of the rejection spread through entertainment circles quickly. Meghan reportedly felt the sting personally. Her show needed high-profile participants to compete in a crowded market, and losing someone of David's caliber meant going back to the drawing board. Industry observers noted the difficulty of securing A-list talent without that initial momentum. Meanwhile, social media lit up with commentary. Memes comparing David's jam video to Meghan's brand content flooded platforms, often captioned with variations of "When Sir David Says No." The honor that sealed his path. June 13, 2025, brought news that had been years in the making. King Charles's birthday honors list included a name that sent celebrations rippling through sports and entertainment worlds alike. Sir David Beckham, the title was finally his. For services to sport and charity, the palace statement read, acknowledging decades of dedication, both on and off the pitch. The announcement felt like vindication, especially after earlier controversies had delayed this recognition. David's journey to knighthood hadn't been smooth. He'd received an OBE back in 2017, but the full title had eluded him amid whispers about tax arrangements and business dealings. Time and continued charitable work eventually silenced those doubts. His malaria campaigns, education initiatives for children, and continued ambassadorship for UNICEF built an undeniable case. This wasn't just a celebrity receiving a fancy title. This was recognition of genuine impact. The ceremony at Buckingham Palace promised to be memorable. David, at 50 years old, would kneel before the king in a moment decades of hard work had earned. Friends say he became emotional discussing it, dedicating the honor to Victoria, his children, and fans who'd supported him throughout his journey. The suit he chose for the ceremony spoke to his style, tailored perfectly, elegant without being flashy, respectful of the occasion's gravity. But timing added another layer to this honor's significance. Coming just weeks after declining Meghan's invitation, the knighthood felt like affirmation from the very establishment David had chosen to stand beside. Royal watchers noted the connection, seeing his loyalty rewarded by the institution he'd supported through complicated times. The message seemed clear: tradition and consistency matter, especially when others chase fleeting trends. David's first public appearance after the ceremony told everyone exactly how he planned to use his new title. Instead of glamorous Hollywood events or international press tours, he chose a charity gala supporting children's health initiatives.
I'm very passionate about children and the charity side of things, and so are the club. So we came together, and it's something special.
The cause aligned perfectly with Catherine's early childhood development work, her passion project that had been gaining momentum. David arrived with his knighthood pin displayed proudly, but the evening wasn't about him. His speeches praised those working behind the scenes, people serving with grace under constant pressure. Anyone listening understood the subtle tribute to the Princess of Wales. Social media responses were overwhelmingly positive. Posts celebrated the People's Knight, contrasting his grounded approach with celebrities who seemed more interested in headlines than substance. Even those who'd questioned whether he deserved the honor admitted his post-retirement work had earned recognition. Critics were few and quickly drowned out by supporters celebrating a man who'd never forgotten his roots despite global fame. For David, this wasn't about ego or status. The knighthood represented something deeper, a confirmation of his identity as British through and through. In a world where celebrities often chase international markets and Hollywood glitz, David's choice to celebrate this honor in ways that supported his home country and its royal family spoke to values many found refreshing. As one friend put it, Sir David wasn't looking for spotlights to chase. He was standing in the one he'd earned, standing beside the future. With his new title secured, David didn't treat it as something to announce once and then move past. He wore it purposefully, especially when supporting causes and people who mattered most to him. Days after the official ceremony, He appeared at an event near Windsor, with the title prominently featured on every program and place card. But the real statement came in July 2025, at a garden party that would cement exactly where his loyalties lay. The Royal Foundation for Early Childhood Development hosted a gathering that felt intimate, despite its importance. Catherine's passion for this cause was well known, and she'd poured energy into building programs that would make lasting differences in young lives. David and Victoria arrived together, every inch the supportive couple backing a royal one. No drama, no grand statements, just presence that spoke volumes. Attendees remember Catherine looking radiant, her recovery from health challenges complete enough to embrace public duties again. David's interactions with her were warm and genuine. He spoke about her strength in glowing terms, calling her the heart of the family in conversations that weren't staged for cameras. One guest shared that David seemed liberated, no longer walking carefully around potential controversies. His support for Catherine and William was unconditional, and he wasn't hiding it anymore. The contrast with Meghans' situation became impossible to ignore. While her show struggled to find its footing in competitive streaming markets, David's moves strengthened his royal connections. Victoria's fashion choices at these events mirrored Catherine's elegant style, creating visual unity that photographers captured and commentators analyzed. This wasn't accidental. It represented a united front, a power couple supporting a royal couple they genuinely believed in. David turned down other high-profile invitations to prioritize these royal engagements. Friends say his philosophy was simple family and real friends first, always. The garden party raised both funds and awareness for early childhood programs, achieving its goals while reinforcing relationships that mattered. For Catherine, facing constant public scrutiny despite her health battles, having someone like David publicly in her corner provided meaningful support. His social media post from the event carried a caption that seemed straightforward but held deeper meaning. Honored to support causes close to home, grateful for leaders shaping tomorrow. Royal watchers decoded it as a clear statement of support for Catherine's work and the Wales family's vision for monarchy's future.
The future Queen Consort. To prosper as the successors to the throne, it's vital for the Prince and Princess of Wales.
The timing, coming alongside his knighthood celebration, made the message even stronger. This loyalty revealed something essential about the Beckham-Sussex divide. It wasn't about petty grievances or celebrity feuds. It represented fundamentally different values: spectacle versus substance, self-promotion versus service, fleeting alliances versus enduring bonds. David's choice to celebrate his knighthood by supporting Catherine's causes showed which side of that divide he stood on. He wasn't just declining a television appearance. He was affirming a commitment to people and principles that had guided him for decades. The question everyone was asking found its answer in these moments. Where does David Beckham's loyalty truly lie? The garden party, the speeches, the careful choices about where to appear and what to support, all of it pointed in one direction. Toward the monarchy's core, toward William and Catherine, toward a vision of royalty that balanced tradition with evolution while never losing sight of duty. His knighthood wasn't the end of a journey. It was a new beginning, with his allegiances clearer than ever before. So here we stand, watching a story that goes far beyond one rejected invitation or one knighthood ceremony. David Beckham's decisions over these months have drawn a map for others to follow or reject. His choice to stand with Catherine and William, to decline opportunities that don't align with his values, to celebrate honors by supporting causes rather than chasing cameras, these actions reshape how celebrities interact with royalty in our modern age. The ripples keep spreading. Meghans' show continues without the star power David would have brought, facing uphill battles in crowded markets. Meanwhile, David's documentary remains celebrated, his jam video is still referenced in memes, and his public approval has never been stronger. The contrast isn't just about two different approaches to fame. It's about authenticity versus image, substance versus polish, loyalty versus opportunity. For Catherine, having David's public support means something real. Her work in early childhood development gains attention and credibility when someone of his stature champions it. His hospital visits during her difficult times, his praise during her return to duties, his presence at foundation events, these aren't publicity stunts. They're genuine friendship playing out in public view, reminding us that real relationships survive and strengthen through challenges. Victoria's role shouldn't be forgotten either. Her partnership with David
And Victoria speak to her husband. She can be intense and overly protective, and gets a bad rap because of it.
Her own support for Catherine's style and substance creates a power couple backing a royal couple. It's a dynamic that feels organic rather than orchestrated, built on shared values rather than strategic planning. When these four appear together at events, it signals more than celebrity meeting royalty. It shows like minds supporting common goals. The bigger picture reveals transformation in how fame and tradition intersect. David's path suggests that aligning with monarchy's core can strengthen rather than limit a celebrity's brand. His approval ratings soar while others struggle for relevance. His choices prove that substance and longevity matter more than quick headlines. It's a lesson other celebrities are certainly watching and learning from. But let's bring this back to where it started, those four words that said everything without explaining anything. I don't know her wasn't cruel or calculated. It was honest. It was closure. It was David Beckham drawing a line and standing firmly on the side he'd chosen. No more careful diplomacy. No more walking on eggshells around old tensions. Just clarity about where he belongs and who he stands beside. The monarchy David supports isn't stuck in the past. It's evolving through William and Catherine's leadership, finding ways to stay relevant while honoring traditions. It's accessible yet aspirational, modern yet rooted. David and Victoria exemplify similar balance in their own lives, global fame that never forgot local roots, success that never abandoned values, star power that serves rather than just shines. This story matters because it shows us choices have consequences, loyalty has rewards, and authenticity ultimately wins. David Beckham could have taken the easy path, said yes to the invitation, collected another appearance credit, and avoided any controversy. Instead, he chose the harder road, the one that honored relationships built over decades, that supported people facing struggles, that celebrated real achievement rather than chasing new opportunities. Where does your loyalty lie? In a world constantly chasing the next trend, David Beckham made a rare choice: loyalty over glamour, substance over spectacle. His quiet stand spoke louder than any headline, reminding us that integrity still matters in an age of quick fame. The question now is, will others follow his path or keep running toward the spotlight? Only time will tell. If you value authenticity and the courage to stand firm in what truly matters, hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to stay tuned. This story of loyalty, fame, and integrity is only just beginning.